Once again, we have the headsets in the back. If you are new to this meeting, make sure to register at the table. We also have materials in Spanish and English at the table.
Space, please sign into our mailing list, and in English materials can be found on the signing table. Okay. All right, so any additional information and project summaries can be found on the pamphlets located over here. There's also a map of our project area and some of the projects going on within the project area. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick attendance. So the project lead for City of Richmond, present. Project lead for Grid Alternatives, not present. Project lead for Groundwork Richmond, not present. Project lead for Rich City Rides, no. Oh, wait. Oh, Lorena was here. Lorena, I see your hand on the screen. I'm so sorry, Lorena. All right. And then project lead for Rich City Rides, present. Project lead for Trust for Public Land, present. Project lead for UC Berkeley, not present. And then project lead for Urban Tilt. Awesome, present. Yeah, we just. It wasn't good. Okay, awesome. All right, community member Tomasa Espinosa, not present. Community member Juana Hernandez, presente. Community member Monse Gonzalez. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, sorry, Monse is here, but she's not on the board anymore. So we're going to change it. So it would be Frida, right? It would be, okay, awesome. Community member Judith Rocha, awesome. Community member Curtis Rice, present. Community member Jim Becker, present. And then youth fellow Frida Solis, present. Awesome. All right, so just a little bit about our meeting information. Every meeting is the first Wednesday of the month from 6 to 8 p.m. We have in-person attendance here at the Nevin Community Center. The address is listed here, also on the Richmond Rising website. Virtual attendance is also on the Richmond Rising website. We also have that linked here. Phone attendance, you can dial in with the number listed on the screen or on our Richmond Rising website. And then all committee members and members of the public must abide by the community agreements. All right, so we're going to go ahead and round robin and do our land acknowledgement. I can go ahead and start. So while Richmond Rising seeks to strengthen the economy, improve public health and the environment, particularly in the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods, we do so with the awareness that we occupy unceded Huichin and Karkin Ohlone territory.
We acknowledge that land thief of indigenous homelands and the dismantling of indigenous sovereignty was done to advocate colonization.
We acknowledge that capitalism and white supremacy are the branches of colonization that have persisted throughout hundreds of years of oppression, are alive today, and contribute to keeping Black, Indigenous, and all other people of color from thriving.
We further acknowledge that this country's political economy and social institutions were built on the forced labor of African people on stolen land through violent systematic abduction from their homeland and environment over hundreds of years.
Next slide, please. We further acknowledge the exploitation of immigrant and refugee communities as modern forms of cheap and disposable labor are regularly carried out on stolen land.
Thus, we acknowledge that we have been impacted and harmed by these histories and experiences imposed on our ancestors and communities. We further uplift the shared struggle among Black, Indigenous, and all people of color.
We also acknowledge that Indigenous people continue to live here, steward the land, and resist settler colonialism.
Concluimos que nuestro reconocimiento de la tierra, de una declaración y un proceso activo y en evolución, requieren que reconozcamos las injusticias históricas, nos invita a ser particularmente populares activos en nuestra curación colectiva.
All right, so a little bit of information about Richmond Rising. So the city of Richmond and 6 local organizations, together known as Richmond Rising, received a $35 million grant to bring health, economic, and environmental benefits to the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. Richmond Rising is supported by the California Strategic Growth Council's Transformative Climate Communities program. All right, so kind of the gist of the collaborative stakeholder meeting is it provides guidance on project implementation and hold us accountable in reaching our goals. It can make recommendations, provide input, and assist project leads in implementing project activities. Does not have final decision-making authority, though, and project leads must consider recommendations from the committee and members of the public. All right, so we have a portion for public comment that is not on the agenda. So this is a space for members of the public to provide public comment on items that are not included on the agenda today. Are there any committee members in the audience or online that would like to make a public comment? I have one. So we wanted to shout out the team at Urban Tilth, Shaneway and Bailey, for the really great vegan salad that they made with all the stuff from their garden. They're beautiful crops. Yeah, so we did not receive any public comment online or in person, so we're gonna go ahead and move along. Oh, okay. All right, hold on, let me bring you the mic.
Hi, everyone. We are advocating for the e-bike lending library. We have some letters of support we would love for you all to sign. We'll be passing those out during our time to present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Najari. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward in the agenda. All right, so we're going to review and approve previous meeting minutes. So can we motion to approve last meeting's minutes? Can we? Yes, Miley motion. Can we have a second motion? Thank you. All right, so we've approved the minutes from the last meeting. Oh, can we vote to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting? Yeah. All in favor of approving the minutes from last meeting? Sorry, I got confuzzled. All right. So moving forward in the agenda. So we're going to move on to project status reports. So each partner will share up-to-date financials and grant expenditures to date for each project, and this will be shared with the committee and the public. So we're going to go ahead and start with our grantee, City of Richmond.
Thank you, Melia. So for as you know, and for the people who are joining us for the first time, the City of Richmond is the grantee. So the person who and the group of people who administer the grant. My name is Beatriz Guerrero, and I work for the City of Richmond Community Development Department. And my coworkers Matias and Eduardo are sitting to my left. Since we started the administration of the grant, we have hosted 28 collaborative stakeholder meetings, like the ones that you are sitting at today. We have submitted 17 bi-monthly reports that have been put together by all this group, submitting all the invoicing from all these organizations. The work completed since last meeting is we submitted an invoice and progress report number 17 to the Department of Conservation and the Strategic Growth Council for review. We corrected invoicing and CSC templates, which is what you're looking at right now. We resolved invoicing discrepancy with the grid alternatives team. And we got 1.045 million approved for the Richmond Wellness Trail. Terrence is joining us remotely, but he can speak a little bit more about the project itself. We submitted amendments and modifications number 4, including all the changes that this team put together. We coordinated the meeting between Rich City Rights and Today e-bike share team. We submitted 2 CNRA grant proposals. CNRA, for people who are not familiar, are urban greening proposals to get up to $5 million. So we are trying to bring that money to the city too. We submitted an additional round of responses to invoice 16. As you know, there's always comments from the state, so we addressed that. We met with the Strategic Growth Council and GRID regarding the proposed revisions to their grant agreement. We also finalized the insurance review for Groundwork Richmond and Trust for Public Land. Every year we have, we need every organization to update their insurances for working with the city. We submitted the Regional Measure 3 grant form for Richmond Wellness Trail. This was an internal process for us to be able to start using those funds since we're getting very close to construction. And we presented on Richmond Rising at 17th California Climate and Energy Forum. We had a lot of questions from other people who are applying for TCC grants all throughout the state. And so sharing with you that was people were very interested on the work that we're doing. And the state considers us, the city of Richmond and our partnerships a model around. So they're always trying to, show us off. Sharing this with you because it was really nice to be around all these folks. Total expenditures reported up to date, $493,000. The remaining budget is $200,000. And planned work in the next 2 weeks, we are reviewing the RN3 invoicing processes. This is the Regional Measure 3 funds. This is the additional funds that we got for the construction of the Neighborhood Complete Streets project and the Richmond Wellness Trail. And with that, we are going to be able to support the construction of these two projects and also pay for some of the staff time that we have. Plan and submit Resilient California submit application. Just so you know, we're trying to put together an application to present at this as this summit. So we'll be reaching out to all of you to share if you want to be participating too. We were thinking about talking about the holistic partnerships that Richmond has had for resiliency. So we are inviting partners to be part of this if you are interested in presenting and you would like to attend the conference. We also completed the contract amendment for City of Richmond Parks Department. We're working with them so that Groundwork Richmond can also continue partnering with the city for tree planting. I think that's it for the grantee work.
All right, awesome. And then we are going to move on to the representative from Neighborhood Complete Streets.
Yeah. Thank you, Melia. For Neighborhood Complete Streets, which is a complete streets project, for those who are not familiar, this is the project that is going from Harbor Way south from Pennsylvania to Hoffman Boulevard. And this project is actually now 90% plans were finished for the first part of it, which is Harbor Way South from Chancellor Avenue to Hoffman Boulevard. This means the plans are almost ready. They're in internal review within the city. So we're planning to come to our next CSE meeting to show it to everyone. So you all can see them, and we can also get residents and partners to provide any feedback and to also know what's going to happen in that area. Additionally to that, we put a request for proposals for engineering and design services for the rest of the project. I'm showing the map in there, but for those who can't see from far away, it's Harbor Way between Pennsylvania and Chancellor, and then Ohio Avenue from Harbor Way to Guerin Boulevard, and also Harbor Way South between Hoffman Boulevard and Wright Avenue, and also along Harbor Way South between Wright Avenue and Marina Way South. These proposals are being we put out an RFP, which is the acronym for request for proposals, so that we can get a team that can help us design these streets. So the first part is almost finalized, which is the area close to the Greenway. So for us, one of the most important parts of the project area because it has the intersection with the Greenway, the community center, and a lot of other pedestrian and bike collisions that have happened. So that was the most important part for us, as well as the transit stops in the area. And so the rest of it is going to be released, and the construction funds are going to come from the federal funding that we allocated with the Reconnecting Communities pilot program and the Regional Measure 3 funding that we were able to secure last year. Total expenditures up to date, $114,000. Remaining budget, $5 million. Plan work in the next 2 weeks. The city would complete the internal review of the 90% plans that I shared with you. And then we're hoping to receive proposals for the engineering and design services for the rest of the Marina Way, for the Harbor Way area, as well for Ohio and Wright Avenue. And I'm going to pass the microphone back to Melia.
All right, awesome. And then we are going to move on to our representative for Trust for Public Land about the Richmond Wellness Trail. And then Terrence is tuning in.
Hi, yeah, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hi, so my name is Terrence. I'm a project manager from Trust for Public Land. Sorry I'm unable to make it in person. I'm a little under the weather. And I'll be presenting phase 2 of the Richmond Wellness Trail. So for those of you who aren't aware, the Richmond Wellness Trail is a 1-mile bike and pedestrian improvement project running along Marina Way South, starting at Cutting Boulevard and running south to the terminus of the street. So that'll include the improvements include curb ramps, intersection improvements, installation of bicycle bicycle infrastructure, and tree planting, which we're partnering with Groundwork Richmond to do. So since the last meeting, as Beatrice mentioned, we were able to secure a little over an additional $1 million for the project to do additional scope that the city has requested. And this is of great benefit since it'll be really efficient for us to do the project while we're there instead of us finishing some work and the city coming down later to redo some of the work. And it enhances the scope of the project significantly. So thank you to City Council and all the city staff that we worked with to get this extra funding. We've also been doing some coordination with the railroad for our submittals, along with Caltrans for the highway overpass, and the city of Richmond for the NEPA process.
Sorry, Terrence, it wasn't loading.
No worries, thank you. So total expenditures to date are $500,000, and the remaining budget is $4.2 million. In the next 2 weeks, we are planning to continue project budget and city funds coordination. So that includes things like the contracting process for the additional grants and funds from the city, continued design and coordination for NEPA, railroads, and Caltrans approvals, and we are expecting to receive the revised 90% design set tomorrow for city TPL and partner review.
Oh, thank you so much, Terrence. All right, so we are going to move on to Frida Solis. She's going to be reporting on behalf of the e-bike lending library.
Work completed since last meeting, participated in the Juneteenth Festival music on the main community outreach events, spoke at City Council in support of the e-bike lending library, continued meeting with City Council members and potential sponsors, and collected approximately 150 community signatures in support of the project. Total expenditures reported to date, $295,641. Remaining budget, $2,165,410. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. Participate in the final 2 music on the main concerts. Continue to collect signatures. Continue engaging City Council members and the community to build support for the release of the ECIA construction funds and the e-bike lending library. And lastly, prepare for City Council meetings on July 21st.
Amazing job, Frida. All right, so now we're going to move on to our representative from Grid Alternatives for Resilient Homes, but I believe Mbessa isn't here. So Beatrice, do you want me to do it? All right, so for the Resilient Homes project, I'm so sorry if I don't do it justice. I am not on this project. The number of homes with solar panels installed. So we have 6 solar installations, 9 professional services, which were re-roofs and main panel upgrades. Number of homes with energy efficiency and electrification installed to date, 95. 76 roof insulation, 26 duct sealing, 10 deeply buried ducts, 52 HP HVAC systems, 18 HPWH, 15 induction stoves, and 5 efficient washers and dryers. Work completed since the last meeting, so tabling at the Music on the Main event, outreach at the COR TCC Hub office, bi-weekly canvassing on 20th Street and Bissell Avenue, met with SGC and COR regarding Resilient Homes Project amendments, and completed TCC Invoice 17 reporting. I hope I did you justice, Mbessa. All right, let's see, next one. All right, awesome. So total expenditures today are 1.6 million. Remaining budget, 5.2 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. The Zoom Solar Workshop, which is on July 8th. Music on the Main, which is on July 9th. We run Richmond 5K, which is on the 19th. And then on the 29th, the Core Grid Annual Richmond Solar Workshop at City Council Chambers. All right. So from Groundwork Richmond, Lorena is tuning in, I believe, online.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'll pass it to you for the Bosque de Barrio project.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorena Castillo, and I'm the Executive Director of Groundwork Richmond. And so far with our project, we've planted 15 trees in the last month. 13 were residential, 2 trees were non-residential. We've hired a new urban forestry supervisor on our crew. We are still recruiting new board members. So if anyone here or if anyone knows a community member that is interested in joining our board, please email me or check out our website. The information is on there. We could really use some new board members. We will continue to coordinate community planting days and maintenance days. Now that we have a new supervisor on board, we're going to be able to expand our capacity and be able to host more community planting days this year. And our green team will be starting mid-July. Yes, next slide. Thank you. So far, we've spent roughly $373,000 from our budget, and we have remaining about $719,000. We are planning to canvass the project area for new tree adoptees. And like I mentioned in the last slide, we are preparing for our green team participants to start in the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorena. All right, so I believe I'm going to pass it to Cheeto for our urban tilth updates.
All right, hi everybody. Chito Floriano with Urban Tilth. Serve as the Farm Programs Director, filling in for Shinwei today. And updating on the Basins of Relations project. This here is a gray water efficiency project that installs laundry to landscape installations as well as drip irrigation in the project area. And since the last meeting, a number of homes have been serviced, have been 3. There's also our new water conservation apprentice staff completed a gray water action certification training in gray water installation. And the 3 free water conservation systems installed for Iron Triangle homeowners included drip irrigation lines, as well as drought-tolerant native plant landscaping. Total expenditures to date, $571,000, remaining in the budget about $1.1 million. And the planned work in the next 2 weeks is to install 2 drip irrigation installations, plant propagation nursery work to prepare for fall planting, and also team design sessions to plan future installations based on the initial site visits. And also reporting on the universally accessible community garden. We recently had a groundbreaking ceremony, so we officially started construction on June 10th of this year. So yeah, we're not even a month in. So we've completed some surveying, some rough grading, installing of storm drain lines. We've been relocating existing tool container. There's also been excavations of bioswales, a continued storm line drain installation, water lines, and then also installations of the sanitary sewer lines. As I mentioned, we did host the groundbreaking ceremony on June 9th. We gathered with a total of 136 community members, and we also received a mayoral certificate of recognition from the city of Richmond. And we've also started our weekly owner, architect, and contractor meetings. Total expenditures to date, $136,000, remaining in the budget, $118,000. And the planned work in the next 2 weeks is just to continue our weekly OAC meetings, and also continue the construction with a tentative completion date of August 28th. This doesn't include any rain days or any potential change orders to the construction design. And lastly here, Orchard for All is a project that distributes 400 fruit trees per year throughout the duration of this grant. So homeowners in the project area can receive a fruit tree and receive free fruit tree care services from our team. And the work completed since the last meeting, we've distributed 19 fruit trees. We service 63 trees in the project area, so that includes planting, pruning, and also amending the soil and any other care that the fruit tree may need. The team also planted 18 trees, and we harvested a total of 652 pounds of fruit. And we're actively planning on expanding our team as well. Total expenditures to date, 343,000, remaining in the budget, 824,000. And in the next 2 weeks, we have 12 scheduled services for the upcoming weeks. We're going to be giving away trees at our local farm stands. That's both at Unity Park and Lucas Park. We're going to be switching the focus to gleaning, which is going to be community harvesting. And we're also going to plant 25 fruit trees in the project area. The goal is to harvest 400 pounds as well. And then also to continue canvas and identifying fruiting trees in the project areas during the fruiting season. So if you know anyone in the project area, or if your neighbors have fruit trees and need some Orchard for All services, please reach out to us. So thank you. Oh, one more. Dang, I forgot we have 4 projects, Urban Tilth. And of course, Veggie RX, one of the greatest programs here that provides medically tailored veggie bags in collaboration with Lifelong Medical, as well as conducting the Climate Health Promoters Program. So to date, we've had 129 graduates from the Climate Health Promoters Program. Yeah, it's pretty awesome right there. Number of produce boxes that have been distributed, about 6,667 boxes distributed. And some of the work completed since the last meeting, there was a climate-friendly diet workshop on pollution in Richmond with Atchison Village Neighborhood Council that happened on June 25th. We've also met with various community partners to schedule events for August and September. There's also been the planning for the next Climate Health Promoters cohort, and also we've completed invoice number 17. Total expenditures to date, 1.3 million, remaining in the budget about 1.9 million. And the planned work in the next 2 weeks is to be out at Lucas Park Wellness Wednesdays, July 15th from 3:30 to 5:30, and also plan for the climate-friendly diet workshop in collaboration with Partnerships for Trauma Recovery on August 8th. And I think that's it. Thank you.
We need to get Cheetos some water. All right, awesome. So I'm going to pass it to Beatrice from City of Richmond for our e-bike share program.
Thank you, Amelia. In relationship to the e-bike share program, the work completed since last meeting on June 23rd, the Richmond City Council approved the 2026-2027 budget, fiscal year budget, and it did not include any additional funding for the operation of an electric bike share program. Due to this shortfall, this program was terminated the last day of the month on the 30th of June. So we are still in the process of hearing from the from Right Today, who's our service provider for this service, to try to see if we can keep the TCC project area e-bikes, since a lot of those stations are the ones in the BART and on the ferry area, and some of the most used bike stations and hubs. So this is still a conversation to be determined, and we were requested by the Strategic Growth Council to come back to the CSC to try to make additional decisions, depending on if the service providers are willing to work with us with the funding just from TCC, because they were receiving funding from the city to operate the citywide system. So we don't have the details on how this program is going to, be closed, or if it's going to be able to operate at the project area level. But we will come back to hear from you and hear your thoughts in relationship to this. And of course, you're welcome to tell us what you think at the end of this project update status update. But we will try to come back to you with the proposals that we have. As we know, this just happened yesterday, so this is very updated news. So we will share more as we are able to talk to the service provider and to get additional guidance from city staff that operates the program. I'm going to pass it back to Millian.
So do we still need to do the expenditures?
Yeah. Total expenditures up to date, $606,000. Remaining budget, $392,000. Run work in the next 2 weeks. Discuss with the Strategic Growth Council, Right Today, and City of Richmond to determine if the project area bikes can still be funded through the grant, or if other options are possible to be explored. Now we're done.
All right, awesome. And then we're going to move on to the City of Richmond engagement plan. We're going to start, I think Beatrice will have you do just the City of Richmond portion, and then I'll pass it to Frida for the Rich City Rights.
Thank you, Amelia. And we need to add Rich City Rights logo on the right side, I think. For City of Richmond, the work completed since our last meeting is we attended the universally accessible community garden groundbreaking. That was very exciting. So not a lot of work, but we were very excited to be there. And we also hosted the Fierce Advocates at Hub on the resident organizing training topic. For everyone who's joining us here today, the hub, or the Richmond Rising Hub, located at 1600 Nevin Avenue, is a space that is designed for Richmond Rising partners to host events, tabling, etc. But it's also open for community members who are doing environmental justice, climate, and health work. So if any of your organizations or yourselves are doing any type of work related to that, you're always welcome to join us and ask for the schedules. We have a link for you to sign up for using the space, and we're always happy to coordinate with you to make that happen. I'm going to pass it on to Rich City Rights.
Awesome. And I'm going to pass it off to our youth fellow, Frida Solis, to continue.
Rich City Rides. This month, Youth Fellows tabled and hosted a beanbag toss game for community members to win prizes at the Juneteenth Day celebration. Youth Fellows have continued to attending their trainings completed in June, community engagement and community organizing, and a deep dive into the Richmond Rising projects. Youth Fellows have collaborated with the e-bike lending library to create posters that showcase what the e-bike lending library represents, and continue reviewing applications. We will be onboarding 3 new youth fellows. Total expenditures, 704,595. Remaining budget, 1,861,385. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. Youth fellows will continue training on leadership skills or organization skills, how to host a community bike ride, safety. Malia and Gabby will continue to reach out and connect with Richmond Rising partners for collaboration on the Richmond Rising community bike rides. And lastly, we will continue the onboarding of the new youth fellows and continue accepting applications till the end of July. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frida. And then also the youth fellows did posters for the e-bike lending library too, but we weren't able to use them in person. So that was also really fun. All right, awesome. So I believe we are going to move on to nominations for the CSC Youth Fellow Committee members. I'm going to pass it to Gabby so she can go ahead and.
All right, I'm going to have our 3 new nominees come on up. All right, everybody. So as we have mentioned before, our youth fellows hold 4 youth fellow seats, part of the CSC committee. Last cycle, we had some of our youth fellows, and we're going to be filling in the remaining 3 spots on our CSC committee right now. And last meeting in June, we kind of sworn in Frida to be one of our CSC youth fellows. And now, let's give Frida a round of applause. Frida, can you turn around, say hi to everybody? So Frida represents the Iyer Triangle neighborhood. And now we have 3 new applicants as part of our youth fellow program. So they're going to go around, they're going to let you know their name, what neighborhood they represent in the project area, and also why they want to be part of the CSC committee. So we'll start.
Hi, my name is Maribel Rios. I represent the Iron Triangle neighborhood. And one of the reasons why I wanted to join the CSC committee is because I think it's important for youth to have a voice with our community. I also love to advocate for my peers. I'm part of my school's student board committee that ASB, Student Associated Student Body. So I think it's also very fitting for me to gain experience with, communicating and advocating with different age ranges so that I can learn to advocate for everyone. And a fun fact about me is I love to watch sci-fi movies and rom-com movies.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Stephanie, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm currently living in the Iron Triangle neighborhood, and the reason why I wanted to be part of this committee is because it's a great experience for us youth fellows to like gain more info about what's going on in our environment, about like if we can speak up about ideas, and it's great to know this type of information because not everybody of our age know about this, so it's a good experience. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Brian. I work and live in the Iron Triangle, and I will be representing that. I believe I want to join the committee because I want to be the representation that other fellow youth might need, especially in these times that we are right now. I have worked with youth before, but I want to be able to work with the whole community in general. And yeah, I think I just want to be the representation that a lot of us need. And I hope that, yeah, we are able to come in and continue supporting the whole community as one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I do want to open it up to the CSC committee as well as any community members that may have any clarifying questions as to maybe why our youth want to join or just any general questions that you may have for them. No? Okay. If you, yes.
What schools do you attend? Making Waves Academy. I am from Middle College. This is a program through Contra Costa College. I graduated from Richmond High School. Mhm.
Thank you. Also, on our Rich City Rides Instagram, tomorrow there's going to be 3 scheduled posts that are going to come out in relation to our youth fellows and why they want to join the committee. So you'll be able to read a little bit more about that. Frida's post already got posted, so you're able to visit our Instagram page and see what Frida wrote. But yeah, these are going to be our new committee members joining us next committee. So next time you'll see them right here along with you guys. And yeah, I think yeah.
Been kind of out the loop, but that I'm noticing is that I'm noticing that all the youth fellows are representing the Iron Triangle neighborhoods. Is that with like every cohort is a different neighborhood, or why is there not any Coronado or Santa Fe representation?
That's a good question. So all of our youth fellows, when they get onboarded, they get explained what the CSC committee is. They get shared the online application. It just happens to be that majority, if not all of our youth fellows currently come from the Iron Triangle. So it kind of just happens to be. It also happened last cycle. I think we have just one youth fellow that represents, I believe, the Santa Fe neighborhood. She's going to be onboarded a little bit later. But yeah, majority of our youth fellow applicants have came from the Iron Triangle.
Also, to add on to that, we kind of talked about recruitment in the past, and what is just sometimes an obstacle for us is high school locations and elementary school locations and things like that. When it comes to middle or high schools and colleges, it's really hard to have someone who attends a high school or a college in any of the other project area or in the other neighborhoods. And then on top of that, like it just kind of has to do with like housing and zoning, like where people live and whatnot. So when Gabby and I were doing recruitment, a majority of them just so happen to be in the Iron Triangle, but that also kind of correlates with either where they live, but some of them work or go to school in those neighborhoods. So they were able to
Yeah.
qualify, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like Malia said, and the only high school that's really like in the project area would be Greenwood, at least for the age range that we do, would be Greenwood and Leadership, which we have tabled multiple times there. It's just been a little difficult just to get them to apply. And same thing with Coronado. There's no high school in the Coronado area. So even a lot of our youth fellow applicants, the way that they've been able to kind of qualify even for the program, because a lot of them, their school is outside of the project area, has been through their volunteer work that they're doing. And their volunteer work just happens to be in the Iron Triangle. So yeah. Any other questions? All right. So
Can you hear me now? Yeah, it's on. No questions. Just thank you so much for joining us. I think it's really exciting for me to see that we have young people in as part of this committee. I know this is not as fun, but you can make it fun. Let us know how we can make this better and how we can make it more exciting for you, because we don't want this to be a space that you don't feel welcome at. So please feel free to reach out to any of the people in this team to let us know what you want to see and what do you want to hear, what do you want to listen, give us your ideas on how we make this a space that is good enough for you to hang out at and for you to invite your friends, so that people want to know more about the work that we're doing and that you're doing. So, but very excited to see you here.
Also, just lastly, I do just want to mention that Maribel is going to be on the committee up until maybe November, December. She's doing another extracurricular activity during the school year. So she's going to be joining us till then, and then we're going to be giving another youth fellow the opportunity to apply and be part of the committee until the end of March, which is when they end their cohort. And then, are we doing voting?
Yes. If we don't have any other questions or comments from the public, we would like for you to review the applications that you have. The committee members have the applications that the youth fellows who are not yet part of the committee submitted. So I would suggest that we review them, since we have 4 spaces and there's one youth fellow that has already been appointed, which is Frida. And we have 3 applications. I would suggest that we vote a package to vote them all in, unless anyone has a different proposal. If not, please just take a few minutes to review the applications and let us know if there's any questions, and if there's anyone who can propose a motion. It can be me now because I'm not the chair, but happy if anyone else wants to do that too.
Close. Stephanie.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a motion to vote all 3 youth fellows in. Okay, and then do we have a second? Okay, Mayeli? Oh, we're voting. Oh, awesome. Oh, he seconded it. Okay, awesome. All right, so can we get votes?
Voting the youth fellow. Lorena and Terrence, if you vote for the youth fellows to join us, I know you don't have the applications, you can also abstain.
All right.
Vote them in. This is Lorena.
Okay, awesome.
Terrence, if you want to vote, you can also do it by raising your hands or letting us know.
Hi, yeah, I'll abstain from this vote since I don't have their information.
Thank you so much to everyone. So this motion passes by voting of all the members that are present today at the CSE meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to the City of Richmond for the displacement avoidance plan.
Hi, everyone. In relationship to the displacement avoidance plan, which is a plan that the city put together to support community members and businesses from being displaced from the area, the update since last meeting was Small Business Facade Improvement Program. In this program, we continue the implementation and outreach for the Richmond Small Business Facade Improvement Program. For those who are not familiar, the program provides up to $15,000 to any small businesses that fall within the guidelines of the program. The program has received applications exceeding the available $300,000 allocation. So it's demonstrating strong demand from small businesses for storefront improvement assistance. And in relationship to the Buy Local campaign, we continued coordination with the selected vendor to address insurance and business license requirement necessary to initiate the city's Buy Local campaign program. And city staff worked closely with the internal departments and vendor to facilitate compliance. and prepare for campaign implementation. It seems that we are finally getting it in, so you'll be hearing more from the team as soon as we get more information from them. Total expenditures reported up to date is $174,000. Remaining budget is $577,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. The division, talking about economic development, will continue reviewing and processing I'm processing the facade improvement program applications and exploring potential opportunities to support businesses that remain on the waiting list. And the staff will also work toward finalizing the vendor onboarding requirements and begin preparations to launch the Buy Local campaign program. I'm going to pass it back to Malia.
Oh, no. You.
Okay. In relationship to workforce and economic workforce development and economic opportunity plan, the work that we completed since last meeting, specifically for the city of Richmond, we completed outreach on the Richmond Rising Hub, and we created the database for employment and training TCC participants. Since Grid Alternatives is not here today, I will share their part. Grid's still looking to hire a workforce jobs developer to support our TCC work. If anyone knows quality candidates, please direct them to the Grid Alternatives current job openings webpage, and the link is right on the screen. And Grid has set the dates for our coming Oakland cohort on September 21st to October 23rd. And if anyone knows people who live in the city of Richmond and is interested in enrolling in this cohort, please have them complete an interest form. And if anyone has any questions about any of the above information, they can reach out to Seth Yun, who's our Workforce Development Director of Northern California, and his email is available also on the slides. In relationship to the funds that we have, total expenditures reported to date is $362,000. Remaining budget is $1 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks is we will continue developing an internal calendar of workforce job readiness training and local job fairs. And we will also receive confirmation from the Strategic Growth Council regarding the task-based deliverables that we submitted. And I think that's it for the Workforce Development and Economic Opportunity Plan.
All right, awesome. And then we are going to, I cannot see. There we go. So we're going to move on to the update for Global Healthy Cities. Oh, they're not here. Yeah, right. All right, awesome. I can read it up. So the indicator tracking plan. So work completed since last meeting, submitted official year 2 deliverables, annual report and evaluation memo, and planned work plan for year 3 deliverables. Total expenditures reported to date, $612,000. Remaining budget, $457,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks, revised data tracking tools to ensure they are up to date, and finalize year 3 work plan. I am going to be so honest, I don't know how to read this.
Actually, I'm going to pass it on to Matias and Eduardo if they want to explain this slide. This was related to the budget spent in the last meeting. We talked about how we want to share with you how much funding has been spent on each of the programs. This is a proposal. This is the first draft, so please let us know your comments. This is the percentage of TCC budget spent.
So yeah, like she said, this is just sort of an overview of the projects to date. We're going to try to present 2 different metrics each month. So we'll always have the budget spent, and this is the same thing that is in the other slides, but just kind of shows it to you as a graph and lets you see what's been spent to date. You'll see here that most projects are still not halfway spent. For many of them, there are projects that have high costs that haven't started yet. For example, the 2 bike and pedestrian paths. Once that construction starts, the money will be spent very quickly. Same with e-bike lending library and other projects on here. And yeah, this is just one of the ways we want to kind of show the committee the status of the project. So if the committee has questions or recommendations, we can kind of evaluate the project status. So we'll have the numbers there at the bar charts as well. And then the next slide, we actually, for the next slide, we actually weren't able to put it together because there was some confusion about the template text that we had put in there. So just so you know, in the future, we'll create, the templates will all have the metrics for the total and the monthly update. So as you see here in the example, this is taken from what will be the Groundwork Richmond update. You'll see we'll have the total number of trees. So that'll be for the whole length of the TCC project. And then we'll also have the trees just in the last month. That way we'll be able to kind of review as a committee your individual projects' overall goals. And so we know that the template that we made, we were still working on it and it wasn't clear. So everyone presented just the data from the last month, but we didn't want to use that as the main metric because it's a little hard for us to look at those numbers and compare them to the total 5-year goal. So, so we put this note in here so you all would kind of know, please don't delete either of the two and just fill them both out. Again, this is just an example for Groundwork Richmond, but all of the projects will have something sort of similar where the goal will be a total and also since the last meeting, or in other words, the last month. Are there any questions about these two? If you have comments, this is a great time of feedback on how we can make it more useful or other metrics that you might be interested in. Yeah, Chito, hold on one second. Let me give you a mic.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that as we're filling out the slides. Totally makes sense now. I think a recommendation I would put in here is seeing what that 5-year goal is too. I think in relation to like the entire grant, I think it'd be useful to put it in there just to see like, yeah, how is it in relation to the past 3 years and what we've completed since the last meeting and what we're working towards.
Totally, yeah. So I think what we're looking to do is something like this bar chart here, but it'll be instead of the dollars, it'll be the goal. But we didn't want to present it with only the monthly numbers because those numbers compared to the year, I mean, are very small. So, but we'll definitely be doing that. Any other comments? Great. Now we'll have our regular items, and I'll pass it back to Malia.
Awesome. So we're going to report on public comments and questions. So basically, we're going to report out on any community questions or comments received, including responses. Do we have any? Oh, I thought that was okay. Awesome. So any partners?
You had mentioned a link for us to be able to request space at the TCC office. Where can we find the link?
Yes, great question. We can share that link out again. We'll do it in the email. It's just basic information so we can make sure that one of us is able to be there to support you and also that our co-tenants, Richmond Main Street, are okay with the use of that space. But we'll send that out in an email follow-up.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments? I had a quick kind of comment shout out for the Youth Fellow program. Gabby and I will be opening the Youth Fellow request form so that you can request collaboration with the Youth Fellows at any of, oh, it is. Oh, my bad. Okay. Any other community comments, questions? Awesome.
Hi guys. So my name is Ivana Arriaga. I just wanted to make a comment that today does mark our 50-year anniversary for Lifelong. Just wanted to share that out with you guys. Lifelong has been here with us. So I'm just really excited since I just recently onboarded the team at Lifelong. I'm going on 1 month with them. So yeah, thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Irma. You guys are awesome for leading me here. But just wanted to shout out Lifelong. They deserve a shout out today. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. All right, I have another community comment.
Thank you. My name is Kevin. I'm new to the space. Really appreciate being here. I like the conversations that you guys are having. I work for Richmond Shoreline Alliance. We're an organization based out of Richmond trying to spread awareness about all the contamination that's affecting our Richmond area. Did you guys know that there's over 100 contaminated sites in Richmond? Crazy, right? Our organization is focusing on 2 campaigns specifically. One is called the Zeneca site, which is right by the UC Berkeley field station, kind of outside your guys' project area. But our Heckathorn site is a super fun site, which is right by Cutting, right alongside your guys' project area. We're going to be going to the city council with a resolution to do a full cleanup because sea level rise is becoming a bigger issue. Just because it's outside your guys' project area, it could slip into your guys' project area. So, it's something that I feel passionate about. So I just wanted to, be here, shed some light. I have a a small flyer that I'm sharing out with folks. But I'm gonna try to keep coming to these meetings because I like what you guys are talking about. I like the energy. Congratulations to the youth, and yeah, no, I mean, outside of Richmond Shoreline Alliance, I'm definitely gonna keep coming to these. Thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, are there any more comments or questions? So,
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Maria Martinez. Last Monday, we went to Capital City, Miss Roberta and myself representing our organization, and we are promoting this measure that was approved, SB 1218. It was approved, so thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Won't say.
They asked me not to do this, but today I have 3 of my UCSF summer research internship intern here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Shayla.
Alejandra.
Hi, my name is Lester.
This summer, they're actually researching a lot of the projects that everyone on the TCC committee is working on. So looking forward to talking to everyone and, inviting everyone out to our meetings or to our final presentation. I think some of people already got some emails. I'll be continuing to send those out. So I'm also here to kind of gather some information for their project. So I will be bothering you guys after this meeting.
Thank you so much, Monse. Okay, Gabby.
Hi again. I just want to say, like, this is a full circle moment with Montserrat. Montserrat was part of our Youth Fellow program, and she was also part of the CSC committee. So just seeing her kind of hold that space in that leadership role and guiding other youth is just very amazing to see. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are also able to see the impact and the continuation of that impact that she's continuing to make. So
awesome.
I would also add it's full circle because Monse also started as a YPAR youth. So now she's leading that. So really awesome.
Also, I was going to say, I actually just thought of one too. So 2 of our new youth fellows participated in the Climate Health Promoters Program as well. So it's like kind of pipelining like connection with community, and that's really great too. So yeah, any other comments or questions?
Oh, one of our interns was also part of the climate health promoters. So very full circle.
Awesome. Great.
My question is, how old or what grades do the students need to be in? What ages? 16 through 24 years old. And they need to be part of the area of the project Santa Fe, Coronado, and Iron Triangle to participate. My question is about the graphs that we saw. And my question is, if you have a plan B in case one project is not advancing timely towards the goal and they don't use up all the funding, what happens? Yes. We have meetings with each one of the teams and we review the goals. Every team has different goals and different budgets. So we get together, we have meetings, and we talk about the possibilities. For example, for the community garden, we had a smaller budget than we needed, and we had to make some modifications to be able to cover the project. And some of the other projects maybe have more money than they needed, and we can make the adjustments. So each project is very particular, but we always talk to the leaders of the projects. We do revisions, we can do modifications if if we feel that they will need more money or that they will have extra money, and we can all give our opinion, and we talk about these projects in the committee. For example, for the e-bike, we lost some of the funding from the city, but we are talking about other possibilities. We always talk about this topic.
Any other questions or comments? Anyone? All right, awesome. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda. All right, so I cannot see. Yeah, committee business items for discussion. Okay,
So for everyone who's joining us today, we actually have 7 topics on the agenda. They're going to be super fast, so this is not going to be a very long meeting, even though you might think so. For those who are interested, the U.S. is winning 2-0 versus Bosnia. Just as an additional item to this meeting. Our topic number 1 is universally accessible community garden. Our topic number 2 is the e-bike lending library next steps. Our number 3 item is youth fellows required format and collaboration meetings. However, we already did since we did the introduction, we thought it was a better time to do that voting. This topic has been addressed, unless you guys want to do something else with it. The CSE community. Sorry. The next topic is the CSE community resident and youth fellow nominations. Oh, which is what we already did. Okay. The climate health promoters presentation is the next item that we will have. And last but not least, we will have 2 topics that are just for partners, which is annual reporting reminder and the end of contract modification and amendment season. This is not for the rest of the public or for residents. This is just for us to coordinate internally with partners to be able to report to the state, but you're welcome to hear it and you're welcome to join us in the discussion too. So I'm going to pass it on to Malia so she can pass the microphone to the rest of the partners.
All right, awesome. We are doing for Cheeto. Yeah, I couldn't see.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on this a little bit, but yeah, as you know, we did the universally accessible groundbreaking celebration. So if you go along the Greenway at Unity Park, you'll see some construction going on, and we've added some photos here of a volunteer group with Vistability, who has been volunteering at the Greenway for the past 2 years, and they service adults who have developmental disabilities, and they're very much really excited to have this space. So they were in attendance as well as the TCC team and various other City of Richmond staff. So as I mentioned, had a total of 136 community members and again received the mayoral certificate of recognition. So yeah, looking forward to completing this project and getting seniors and other folks with disabilities out and getting their hands into the soil. So it's going to be one of the only ADA gardens, like truly accessibly gardens in the state, I want to say, maybe even in the country. So that's pretty awesome.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Cheeto. All right, our next update. All right, e-bike lending library. I'm going to pass that to Carlos.
Hey, everybody. My name is Carlos Torres. I'm the outreach manager at Rich City Rides with a focus on the e-bike lending library. I'm going to give you guys a little super brief update. While I do that, my colleague Mayeli is going to pass around some letters, and my boss, Najari, is going to pass out some letters as well that we would love for you guys. Oh, and Maribel also. We'd love for you guys to check them out, read them over, sign if you can. That'd be great. And get them back to us tonight if you can.
Cartas hoy mismo. Just repeating information in Spanish now. Información actualizada. We are passing out the letters that we are asking you to fill them out and sign them and return them before we go home tonight. These letters.
Where we are, basically, our final design and planning are complete. Everything's been approved in terms of design and construction. And so what that means now is that unfortunately, because of multiple events that have happened, such as the city wanting us to incorporate an ADA restroom for that ADA garden, making it LEED certified, and tariffs, and yeah, there's a lot. So our cost has gone up. So now we're short on funds. And so what's next is we're requesting the ECIA funding from the from Richmond City Council to complete construction funding. We're going to a city council meeting on July 21st. And we would really love your support there. I'll tell you some more about that soon. So what's next? Upon approval, construction of the permanent e-bike lending library on the Richmond Greenway will begin. So if we can get those funds approved, we can start construction, yeah? And we're kind of a little bit behind now because the garden has started construction and we need to get going as well. Spanish. Okay, so
Same information is being repeated in Spanish now.
why do we need an e-bike lending library? So, we feel that there's multiple benefits to an e-bike lending library, right? How many of you have heard of the e-bike lending library before? Excellent. So just a brief statement, what it is basically it's going to be a building at Unity Park that's going to house a bunch of e-bikes that we're going to lend out to the community for free, right? And so we're super excited about it. We believe, a community benefit is you get free e-bike lending library for everybody in the community of Richmond, with a focus specifically on our project area, right? So, or priority to anyone that lives in our project area or works in the project area or goes to school, yada, yada, yada. Free e-bike lending library for all, bicycle safety education, maintenance workshops, sustainable transportation for all, healthier and cleaner communities. I mean, who doesn't want an e-bike lending library? You know what I'm saying? Like that, there's the benefits for all of us here are incredible. In particular, for all those who don't have a way of getting around. That's the reason why we started this project to begin with, is because there's multiple people in Richmond that do not have a way to get from point A to point B. So we're just trying to help the community out.
Por eso queremos ayudar a la comunidad. Now we'll hear the same information in Spanish. Seguridad. We will have training on how to fix bikes. One of the benefits also is that we will have less cars on the streets, and we will have communities that are.
So how can you help? First, there's a letter going around. If you could sign that letter of support and return your signed letter to Rich City Rides, we'll submit it to the mayor and the city of Richmond. We would also appreciate you attending the city council meeting on Tuesday, July 21st, and speak in support of e-bike lending library and us obtaining ECIA funding. This is super important because without the community support, the city council doesn't understand how much the community wants such a project. Does that make sense? You can also send an email of support. Tell the mayor and city of Richmond council that you support ECIA funding for the e-bike lending library. All the email addresses are included on this document. If you don't have it, there's some on the table over there.
Del correo electrónico del alcalde de la ciudad de Richmond los tenemos en el panfleto que está ahí en la mesa. Now the information will be shared in Spanish.
That's it. Any questions from anybody? Yes. Oh, hold on. Let me get you the mic.
Time is the city council meeting at?
City council meeting runs all day. It starts at like 3:30, right, Beatriz? And it goes till like 7 p.m. Is that correct, Beatriz? Yes.
So why don't we share the information in an email? Because I think we need to look at the agenda to see. It's usually like either 4 or 6 p.m., but I haven't looked at the schedule of that one. So we need to confirm. But we can share that information if anyone is interested and mail it to everyone in the listserv if you guys want to. We can definitely do that.
Are you on the list? Just make sure you're on it so that you can get that email.
Register for our listserv. We have the registration right there. So if you want to join, please do, and then we will send that information through that. I think we have like how many people? 300 email listserv, more or less. So that's kind of the group. And I do not know if everyone is part of it, but if you're not, that's a great reason to sign up. So we can share that information with you, Carlos.
That's right.
And just one clarification. We are set up for the 21st, but our city manager can still move the date around. So just FYI, because that doesn't depend on this team. So like just bear with us to confirm that date. But yes, most likely the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Yes, sir. Give me one.
So we recently just got news, right, that the e-bike share program is no longer in, I guess, business or functioning in the city of Richmond. So my question is, how does this program differ from like the bike, like temporary rentals that are around the city?
So I'll give it a quick word, and then you can help me out if you think I'm missing anything. So the e-bike share was, it's basically a company called Ride Today that was running a program here. It's run by a company, for profit. We're a nonprofit organization. In order to do ride share today, you had to pay, right, to get some rides. The city of Richmond is also giving out vouchers for you to get rides, free rides, but eventually those vouchers would run out. We're a nonprofit, and your rides will be free. The ride share today would charge you, I believe, per hour or per minute that you held on to the bike. With us, you can check out the e-bike between 30 minutes to 7 days, right? For free. And you can take it home, and if it dies on you, you come back, put a new battery on it, take it back again. Check it out as much as you want. We also have a VTM program as part of the e-bike lending library. VTM stands for Volunteer Training Maintenance. And the idea behind that is we get you trained up, teach you how to work on the bike, how to maintain the bike, also get you certified so that you're able to help your community out with those bikes. And once you pass that training, you get to keep the bike for free. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any other questions?
I just had a question for the last thing you said. How old do you have to be, or any like things that we need, like, be accepted for it?
So that's something we're still kind of trying to figure out, to be completely honest. We don't have it all figured out yet. There's other programs in the area that are kind of similar. For example, there's a program in Oakland that is 18 and up. It's tough for me to say that we're going to do 18 and up because that leaves out a lot of the youth that still need transportation to get to school, to get to health. So I'm not sure, but it's all in development still, and we hope we can service as many people as possible. Eventually, Mayeli and I and Najari's dream is to also be able to incorporate trikes so that anyone can get around. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Add on to a little bit. So one of the questions was, what makes bike share different from the e-bike lending library or vice versa? E-bike lending library would be a facility on a biking and walking path that you can actually go to. We'll be able to provide you with training on how to use the bike. It's not done with an app. There'll be somebody to show you how to use it. You won't have to sign in with the app. You'll have somebody that can sign you up, just like getting a library book in person. If you were to go to a library, you'll be able to borrow this bike and take it home. It's not a pod that you would bring it back to. You can hold on to it for a day. We ask that you bring it back to us before the battery runs out, so that you don't have to wait 8 hours to have another battery charged. We just swap it out for a whole nother battery, whole nother bike that's fully charged and ready to go. If you have any issues, any maintenance issues, you can bring it back to the library. We'll swap it out for a bike that's ready to go. In addition, we hope to have some fun activities, get people well acquainted and feeling safe on how to ride these bikes. Folks that couldn't normally come on some of the rides that we do on weekends can do that now. And we encourage you all to help reduce traffic, improve our air. And you always get the best parking spot when you have an e-bike. Any other questions?
Awesome. Can we give the pens back, please? We use them for all of the events that we go to. That's why. Thank you.
How many bikes will be at the e-bike lending library, and how many residents will be able to be pretty much, yeah, served with this library is the anticipated goal.
So the anticipated goal was 120 e-bikes. We had, we were promised 120 e-bikes from a nonprofit organization that we were working with. And late last year, they bailed out on us. So they told us they could no longer have provide a fleet. So Mayeli and I are in the process of also finding a fleet. We hope we can get up to 120 and then, you know, cycle those bikes out and keep bringing more in. So once we get it built and it's up and running, you know, the sky's the limit. We want to have one of these buildings in each neighborhood. Yep. Yeah.
I guess I just want some just clarifying information. So the e-bike lending library is currently active, right? I can try to sign up, or how you're trying to tell me, because I don't know how to ride a bike. And I would love to like learn and work. So like me personally, like I'm interested in this. So how would I go about trying to get into this program?
So the e-bike lending library program is just Mayeli, Najari, and me right now. We're working to build a structure. It's going to be a building that we're hoping to build in Unity Park, right next to the ADA garden that Urban Tilth is building. So it's not up and running yet. We need these funds from City Council, ECIA fund, to get construction going, basically. But yeah, if we can get those funds approved, we can start construction this year, hopefully be done by next year, and you'll have free bikes for the entire community of Richmond. Yeah.
Also, in the meantime, if you don't know how to ride a bike, we've had workshops in the past with the Youth Fellows and Rich City Rides, to where we bring someone in and our team helps our Youth Fellows. I think Monse even helped last cycle, maybe. We taught like community members how to ride a bike at Lucas Park. It's something we do pretty actively, part of our program. And then we would most likely announce it at one of our CSE meetings, so you'd be able to attend. We typically do them at like collaborative events, like maybe something at Lucas Park that Urban Tilth is holding, something like that. And then also Najari is always happy to like try to get you on a bike as soon as possible, especially for our community bike rides. It's a really good way to start because we go at a pretty good pace. When they have the bike repair shops at Unity Park, I think I've seen also people kind of like trying practicing there too. But we always kind of like announce it and whatnot. And then if you look on the Rich City Rides Instagram, we'll typically post whenever we have those too.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram for sure. We post all our rides there. And also one of our staff members, Justice, he is certified to teach people how to ride bikes now. And he does rides every Sunday at noon, right? Yeah, wellness rides or self-care rides. And you meet at noon at Unity Park. If you need a bike, we can let you borrow one for that ride, and Justice will teach you how to ride it. Yeah.
We're not doing one this upcoming Sunday. It's a holiday. But stay tuned for the ones that we are doing. And this previous Sunday, we met up at the Richmond BART station at 8:30. We did an early morning ride down to the Richmond Marina Bay Park. We joined the Richmond Run Club. Then we rode back to Unity Park. So if you want an extra fun day and really want to push it, the 8:30 run is an option. And it was a whole vibe from then all the way to 2 p.m. And if you know somebody who needs a bike, you can contact Justice and we'll figure out how to get you one.
All right. I don't want to take up more time. Anybody, any other questions? Cool. Thank you guys.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. So we have our Youth Fellow request form. Gabby, do you want me to go ahead and do it? Okay, I'll pass it to Gabby.
Thank you. Majority of this slide is for our CSC committee. So on our first bullet point, I mentioned this last meeting, but I do just want to reiterate the community engagement request form for the youth fellows. You can utilize this form to request youth fellow participation in any of your community engagement needs as it pertains to your Richmond Rising project. So, for example, if you need a youth fellow to help pass out, the veggie produce boxes, or participate in a cooking class demonstration, or you need assistance with, them helping during a tree planting day, or a park cleanup, or a workshop, or you need assistance with tabling at an event that your organization is running. So this form is really for you guys to really utilize and take advantage of the youth to kind of help actively in your project, but also help you spread information about your project. They also, last meeting, I also mentioned that any community events that we're doing, I'll always let you guys know in advance. That way, if you want to provide us with any of your flyers, you can do so. But yeah, I did email all of the partners and project leads this flyer back on June 17th. I will resend that email out with the link. But yeah, please utilize that link. It asks you pretty much basic information like when is this event happening? When do you need them by? How many youth fellows are needed? But main thing to just keep in mind is just submitting your request at least 3 weeks in advance. We like to let our youth fellows know ahead of time when this is happening. So this just allows for just better coordination. But please, please, please utilize this form, utilize the youth fellows. And that way it also helps them get more job experience, be able to shadow you guys in the different positions and roles that you have. And because they're also participating in our CSC meetings, they're going to be able to talk more comfortably about their experience and updates about these projects. So second on the bullet point, I did just want to bring up quickly the community bike ride. Some of you guys, thank you for joining our brainstorming planning session. We had a few follow-up one-on-ones, but if we still haven't had the opportunity to kind of meet and kind of gauge whether you do want to participate in the community bike ride, please email Malia and I. The purpose of this community bike ride, it's really to showcase in person your Richmond Rising projects. We do a lot of updates here and we're just visualizing it through the presentations and trying to visualize it based on what all of the project leads are stating about the Richmond Rising projects. But this community bike ride is the opportunity for us to really be able to bring community members and really see the projects in person. So yeah, if you're any project lead, and please, please, if you haven't contacted us, please do so. We do want to gauge, which projects may be interested in being showcased. So yeah. And then lastly, again, this is for the TCC partners. If you have any youth, particularly in any of your programs, there is a public speaking workshop happening on Friday, July 30th, hosted by the All-Star Project. I want to say last meeting, Larry from the All-Star Project came and provided everybody with an overview as to what they do. So they do public speaking through performance art. Our last cohort did this public speaking workshop and really loved it. It really helps them get out of their shell, helps them build rapport, and really prepares them to talk to community members. So I think this is a great opportunity. It's free of cost for anybody to join. There is a 30 capacity limit. So please let me know if anybody from your team would be interested and how many people. If you want to connect after, please let me know. Everybody on the committee is also welcome to join. I definitely encourage climate health promoters if you want to bring anybody. It was really, really fun. Our youth fellows, the greatest feedback that they gave was that they thought they were going to sit in front of a screen listening to a presentation, but instead it was very interactive. We do a whole bunch of activities, and yeah, it's really fun and informative. Does anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you so much, Gabby. All right, we're going to move on to the next agenda item. All right, so we already did the CSC Community Resident and Youth Fellow nominations, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. And then we have a presentation from the Climate Health Promoters.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for all that you're sharing. And it's, as I think you said, or Mayeli, I can't remember who said it, it feels like full circle, right? We have 129 folks that have come through our program, and we recently graduated our 5th cohort, and it was all youth. And we have the 2 amazing participants that now is part of the youth fellow. And we also have another participant that's part of YPAR. So it's wonderful to see, them getting involved in more and more. And of course, our our very first hire here. Thank you so much. And I mean, even chorus, Curtis, I'm sorry, and Juana and Judith, also part of it. Yes. So many folks that have been able to come through. So we are now promoting our next one. It feels that we just graduated a whole group in May, and in August, we start a whole nother one. So we are here to promote our next one, which will be in Spanish. And I'll let Irma share a little bit more about that. Oh, before Irma shares a little bit more, there's one thing I would like to, and this is particular for the partners. We did send out an email, and for this cohort, we are looking for different opportunities for our participants, our promoters, to work with your organization to support you in whatever project you may have. It can be outreach, canvassing, tabling, parks cleanup, event support, community engagement activities, and any other meaningful opportunities. And this really, it's a way for them to start engaging in our community and learning more about, how to support both for their own growth, but also to support our community. So we're looking for actually, we already have one. So we're looking for 3 different projects and for about 7 to 8 people. And the project is to take place between September 2nd and September 27th. So if you have any activities around that time and that you can, have the promoters come and be part of it, please let us know. Irma's gonna pass out forms that you can fill it out. Or if you have the email, you can always respond back to our email. On that, before I pass it on to Irma, is there any questions about that? So the program is so it's for the people who participate in the climate health promoters, and for the climate health promoters, you have to be 16, and then whoever's in that program will then participate in the project that they may have. So I know for you guys, we went to the Earth Day, right? And that was your project. So this year we're trying to do 4 different projects instead of one main one. Any questions about that? If not, I'll pass it on to Irma to promote a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy said it also. I'm just gonna say it in Spanish. Just to mention again that we're gonna have our group number 6, and the opportunity is open. We have the flyer with the information. I have more flyers here, so that you can also share this information with other members of the community. Maribel, for example, you haven't been part of this program, it would be a good opportunity for you or for any people that you may want to invite to this program. And um, we will begin on August 8th. We're thinking we're going to start our program here. We will keep you updated. We also have the QR code that you can scan for the form that you can fill out for the participation in this group. The version in Spanish fills up really quickly. We only have 30 spaces, so go ahead and register as soon as possible. We usually have a waiting list for this program, so hurry up and fill out your applications. Are there any questions? Usually we don't close the applications. Oh, I mean for the partners to send the form back.
Sorry. Thank you. I think I can't remember what I said in the email, but I think I said maybe the last week of July. Yeah, so we can get it. Ideally, we have all these projects set up. So when we start, we already have, we know what's going to happen. And then we also invite the different programs coordinator to please join us so you can meet the promoters, meet them, and share a little bit about the project with them. So we invite you to come on the 8th to meet them. Thank you for asking
Nancy.
that.
Thank you, Irma. Gracias, Irma.
I wanted to also add a very important thing for the English cohort. We had a limit for the age. It was 16 through 24 years old. For the Spanish cohort, we start with 16 years old, and there is no limit. So 16 and up, no limit for the Spanish cohort. Any other questions? Don't forget to get your flyer or scan the QR code, and we're here for any questions.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next agenda item. I'm going to pass it to Matias.
This is just a reminder for the partners that we're going to reach out soon for the annual reports. Same as every year. But we like to remind you all in person so that you're ready for us. This is mostly the leverage report as well. There's a leverage report and there's what is essentially is an annual report. For those of you who remember, there's questions like, actually, I can't remember the questions all off the top of my head, but it's sort of what went well, what could you work on, and anything to highlight. So we will be working and sending that email out next week for the initial, and then we'll have a deadline of probably about a month from now. Yeah, so if you have questions, you can of course reach out. We'll be available. But it's the same report we've done every year. So we will be sending that out. Just wanted to let you know, but we don't really have anything to report on this for now though. Which can we go to the next slide? Next slide. And then, so similarly, this is the end of the last amendment and modification request period. And just to start the new one, so I'm assuming everyone saw Eduardo's email. Also the same request form. We don't expect many, but we do appreciate it if you can email us soon to let us know if you plan to do something so we can kind of get prepped, and if it's complicated, work with you on it. But I know we've sort of snuck a lot of the more recent amendment requests into the last amendment. So if you have already been working with us, you don't have to do something for this, but if you have something new, let us know. Again, same form, we put everything in the email, but we're always happy to find time to talk. more about if you have questions. Are there any questions? Just for members of the public who are interested, we have essentially a contract with the state that gives us funds, and that contract determines how much we get and what each partner will do in exchange, so to speak. So different projects have different goals. And so in this essentially annual process, we can kind of go back and forth with them if we need to do revisions. Say if something was more expensive than we thought, we can sort of move budget from one item to another. Or if and when I say we, I mean any of the partners individually, or if some of the goals or the targets are not achievable or they're being overachieved and we want to set different targets, it's sort of the process that we do going back and forth with the agency that gives us funds to kind of revise that officially. A lot of fun. Are there any questions about that? All right. I'll pass it back to Malia.
Thank you so much, Matthias. All right, so the next item on our agenda pertains to the agenda. So we are taking agenda requests for the next meeting. If any partners or community members have any agenda requests for the August meeting.
I would love to do an informational presentation about our organization and how it could relate to your guys' work, or it could just be informational in general, but would love to plug us in.
All right, awesome. And then Beatrice and Matthias will be taking note of agenda requests, and then we will be reviewing them in the next meeting we have to coordinate the agenda.
Thank you. I would like to propose Lifelong and the Fountain Project to come and do a presentation on health insurance, what we provide, and different services. Thank you.
Yes to both agenda requests if no one else is opposed. And if you guys can just help us let us know the time that you need, and if you can share your slides with us ahead of time. We do English and Spanish, you know that, so we really appreciate if you can do your own translation, but if not, Eduardo always requests you to submit your information. Remind me how many days before, Eduardo?
10 days, please.
If you want us to translate, so that you give us enough time to do the translation, because sometimes it's challenging when it's a very long presentation and we have to do that translation. But that's the only request for you guys. But yes.
Any other agenda requests?
I have a couple. So I think I messed it up with the controls to know if Terrence is there, and I'm sure he is. But I wanted to bring back to the CSC the plans for both Richmond Wellness Trail and Neighborhood Complete Streets. I'll leave it up to Terrence if he wants to do that for the Richmond Wellness Trail, but at least I want to bring the Neighborhood Complete Streets plans. And I would also like us to invite the Public Works team, the transportation folks, to talk more about the e-bike share program, whatever the proposals are. So those will be the two topics.
Any other agenda item requests? No? All right, we're going to go ahead and move forward with our agenda. Oh, was there another? Oh, no. Okay, so general announcements. So CSC members of the public and other partners or organizations this is basically where you can share general announcements, anything upcoming that you wanted to kind of shout out. Yeah, so any community members or partners that would like to kind of highlight an upcoming event or announcement.
Thank you so much. I just want to plug in again. I believe it's the 7th. We're going to be going to the city council for a resolution to do a full cleanup of a superfunded site in the Richmond Inner Harbor. This is being managed by the EPA. And they did a first cleanup initially, and then it failed because the contamination came back. And so they're doing a second round of a cleanup work that's happening in the Richmond Inner Harbor called the United Heckathorn site. And so we're partnered up with Sierra Club, Baykeeper, and our South Richmond Shoreline Alliance to do a full cleanup and ask the city council to support us. So, we're hoping to gather more folks to, be up for public comment or, just support and share some of this information out. We also do toxic tours. We could also do them for, local organizations who are interested in learning more about one particular site that's called the Zeneca site. They're hoping to build 4,000 units of housing on top of that land on contaminated soil. And so that's really concerning for not only myself, but other community members that feel passionate about this work. So it's a big environmental justice issue. And so I'm hoping to, in my presentation, hopefully next month, I'm hoping to share more information about that.
Thank you so much. All right, Beatrice.
As you probably know, fireworks are banned from the city of Richmond. I am sorry to share this with you. We do agree with this in terms of environmental issues, but we want to let you know that there's going to be a formal event that the city is hosting so that you guys don't miss the fireworks, and it's going to happen in a place where it's not a fire risk area for anyone to be at risk because of this fireworks. And so it's going to be held on the 3rd of July. And it's happening from 5 to 10 at the Marina Bay Park. It has been happening for a few years. So there's going to be food trucks and there's going to be music and it's going to be a family event. So if anyone wants to join, please join us 3rd of July, Friday the 3rd, 5 to 10 p.m. And then the other information that we wanted to share is that next Saturday, the 11th, we have the Shields Reed Park grand reopening celebration. This is actually North Richmond, but if you want to join us, please do so. It's going to be from 11 to 12. If you don't know the address, Shields Park Reed is on 1410 Kelsey Street, Richmond, California. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you there too.
So the people on Zoom can know, Najari said there's a great bike park at Shields Reed Park. All right. Any other announcements? Yeah.
I just wanted to share this project that I'm really passionate about currently. It's from Urban Tilth, but basically they're having the second part of their workshop to try to redesign the restrooms that are located right behind, right on 6th Street, basically from 6th Street Greenway. So they will be there on July 11th from 10 to 1 at the Greenway Community Gardens. Jess is always awesome helping making sure that our little plants in our gardens is doing good. So come show our gardens some TLC. I always love to bring my kids and just spend some time outdoors. So just bringing that note up that, yeah, just come and show up.
Thank you so much. Any other announcements, reminders, questions? All right. So we're going to go ahead and skip along. This is a collaborative meeting. It's literally in the title, but today felt extra collaborative. Very happy meeting. So so thank you to all the partners and community members for your questions and comments and collaboration. That was really great. But our meeting is adjourned.